Hello and good evening. All right, we still have a few minutes to go, couple of minutes. Uh, is there anybody who would like to join me in the studio? And I would like to ask you, what do you understand when I say the aiming process? What do you understand by the aiming process? I have explained what the aiming process is in a number of my videos, which are posted on YouTube. And almost all my students are aware of what the aiming process is. Good evening, Kishore. However, there are some new viewers today, and though they may be knowing the elements of the aiming process, but what the aiming process is per se, probably uh, they need to get acquainted. So if anybody would like to come in the studio and tell me what the aiming process is, you're most welcome. Please click on the request to speak button. You've just got 10 seconds. Or you can use a chat box. You can use a chat box. In the meantime, I will be just going through the overview. First and foremost, I'll be discussing sorry about that. I will be discussing what the aiming process is. And the next thing is we will be discussing why it is important to make the aiming process automatic. And then I will be discussing what are the reasons and what are the difficulties in making the aiming process automatic. Then we will be discussing a few methods, a few techniques. We'll just be touching upon each one of them to give you an idea of what those techniques are. Most of my students already are aware of it and have already started implementing it. In this webinar, I'll just be touching upon each one of them. As I have said before in my previous webinars, to discuss each and every technique takes a long time, and it requires a detailed study, detailed explanations, number of videos, number of webinars, and a lot of text lessons. So this webinar is to get you acquainted with the aiming process, the difficulties in making the aiming process automatic, and what are the methods of making the aiming process automatic. So let me begin with what the aiming process is. For those of you who are not aware of it, when your sights come into the aiming area, there are three things which should work perfectly. The first is your sight alignment. Your sights should be perfectly aligned. When you come into the aiming area, your sights should be perfectly aligned. The second thing is that your sights should be in good and sharp focus. And the third thing is that your arc of movement should be reduced. These three elements, the arc of movement, the focus on the aligned sights, and the sight alignment, are the three elements which make up the aiming process, and it should be automatic. But before that, let's see what it looks like, what the correct aiming process looks like. Please watch this video. So this is what your sights should look when the sights come into the aiming area. Please watch. So you saw in this video how your sights come into the aiming area. The moment they come in the aiming area, the sights are in superbly, sharply focused, they're perfectly aligned, and the arc of movement is reduced. Now, why this is important, why it should be automatic. When this happens, when the sights come in the aiming area, your aiming process should be automatic. Why should you make it automatic? Can anybody use their chat box and give me a reply quickly within the next 5 seconds? Why is it important to make your aiming process automatic? Please use your chat box. Correct. Jack has given the answer. Welcome, Jack. Unless your aiming process is automatic and perfect, you will not be able to concentrate 100% on your trigger operation. Because you cannot waste time aligning your sights, getting your sights into sharp focus, or reducing the arc of movement, because you will consume or use up very precious seconds, a lot of precious seconds, maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds. It differs from person to person. And then if you start the trigger after 4 to 5 seconds, then you are going to run out of breath, because you're holding your breath. You can hold your breath for about, some people can hold it for 15 seconds, some 10 seconds, but there is an ideal time where your full concentration is available to you when the air in your lungs is sufficient. But that is limited. The moment you hold your breath, or whichever breathing technique you use, there is a certain amount of time, ideal time, before you have to get your shot off. And if you use vital amount of seconds in trying to get your sights aligned, or getting a good focus, or reducing the arc of movement, then obviously your concentration on the trigger will be less. You may tend to jerk, or your trigger might freeze, because even if you start your trigger, the moment you come into the aiming area, your mind keeps fluctuating to the sights. Mr. Jekanen, theoretically we can focus on trigger. It's not theoretical, it is practical. All the top class shooters, international shooters, and most of my shooters here have mastered the aiming process, and they don't bother. They just don't bother about all these things. They don't waste time. The moment the sights come in the aiming area, the trigger starts. And that is why your aiming process must be automatic. Now, let us see what are the difficulties and why the aiming process is not automatic. Well, initially, all of us, each and every shooter on this planet, when he picks up pistol shooting, all of us start with aligning the sights. We start with sight alignment, getting that sight steady, and we spend a lot of time trying to get the sight steady, trying to get the focus on the sights correct. And the third thing is reducing the arc of movement. Every beginner, every shooter in this world, when he starts pistol shooting, these are the three things that he is struggling initially to master. And so, right from the beginning, it is set in our mind, we are completely preoccupied with the importance of the sights. Yes, the sights should be aligned, they should be focused, and the arc of movement should be reduced. Accepted. But to what extent? To the extent that you don't waste any time. It should be automatic. Otherwise, it affects your trigger. Now, one of the main reasons I have seen and I have experienced myself, initially, when you mastered your sights, or you mastered sight alignment, you mastered your focus, and you reduced your arc of movement, you still tend to waste valuable seconds when the sights come into the aiming area, mainly because you've got into the habit. You've got into the habit from thousands and thousands and thousands of shots when the sights come into the aiming area. The most important thing that a shooter concentrates on is the arc of movement. The sights become aligned after some time. Even the focus may improve after some time, but generally people are bothered about the arc of movement, trying to get that arc of movements correct, because if they feel that if the arc of movement is not good, the shot will not go in the 10. So the arc of movement does bother a lot. And so you get into a habit. Now, what the habit is and how it is formed, I will be discussing with you. Now, the second thing is that even though years, even after years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, some of my shooters, and be frank, be truthful, think about if you've been to the last shooting session that you've had, think about what happened when the sights came into the aiming area. You may be shooting for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. But when the sights come into the aiming area, think, reflect on exactly what your thoughts were when the sights came into the aiming area. Vikrant Singh has just put a very interesting question. He says, sir, I'm following the steps to master the aiming process as shown in your videos, but only able to master it till about 50 to 55%. According to me, I'm getting a problem where my sights become a bit blurry. That is a focus issue. And not able to master the coordination between the arc of movement and the breathing. So these are all issues related to lack of confidence and the habits that you have developed. Now, you have to understand, in order to master the aiming process, you need to understand how the mind works first and foremost. Okay? Once you understand how the mind works, then we can discuss the different techniques which I am training my shooters to master the aiming process. Now, how does the mind work? We'll just take a look at this video. First of all, we'll see the video in which subconscious mind habit formation. How is this habit formed? This continuously being preoccupied with the sight alignment, trying to reduce the arc of movement and getting the focus sharp. Why it becomes a habit pattern is explained in this particular video. Watch carefully. It's very interesting. There's no audio in this video. It is a silent video. So I have given an example of page A, page B, and the carbon paper. The carbon paper is like your subconscious mind. And when you put it on B and you put page A on top of it and you write anything on it, you remove the A and B and you find whatever you have written on page A, oh, what a beautiful day, is also written on page B, oh, what a beautiful day. Now, this is what the subconscious mind does. By the way, this mind has got three parts: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. For a detailed study of this, it is given in mental skills where the entire mind, the three parts, and how it works, and how we use the different parts of the mind through different exercises to overcome match pressure, visualization, etc., is explained in module number 3. In module number 5. Now, you have seen that the subconscious mind is like the carbon paper. So every shot you shoot, right from the day you have begun till the day to the last session, every shot that you fire, every time the sights come into the aiming area, every time you take a few seconds off, you spend a few seconds to align your sights or to sharpen your focus or to reduce the arc of movement. It is written in your subconscious mind and it is reproduced for the next shot. And when you keep doing that over the years, it becomes a habit. And you know that a habit is very difficult to break. Very, very difficult to break. And so, every time you get the pistol into the aiming area or the sights come into the aiming area, your trigger operation is not going to be optimal because you're going to take 3 to 4 seconds or more just to get the sights and the aiming process perfect. As a result, your trigger operation is going to be affected. But the world-class shooters have mastered the aiming process. They don't have this. Of course, they have the habit, but they've got over it. They've got over this habit, and they've developed confidence because of correct training methods, which we will be discussing now. So, when an international or a world-class shooter gets his sights into the aiming area, he's not bothered about the aiming process. He's got the confidence. He knows that his sights are going to be aligned, that his sights are going to have a reduced arc of movement, and his focus is going to be excellent, like this, like the video which I've already shown you before. It's going to be like this for an international class shooter. Let's watch the video again. This is the correct aiming process, and this should happen automatically. Now, just imagine that your aiming process is automatic. Just imagine. Close your eyes. You're standing on the shooting range, on the firing point, and you pick up your pistol, and the sights are coming into the aiming area the way it is shown, and everything happens perfect. Just visualize. Just visualize. Your sights come into the aiming area, they're perfectly aligned and sharp focus, and the arc of movement is reduced. It happens automatically. You don't waste time at all. You start the second bullet. Every time, for every shot. How would you feel? Wouldn't you feel fantastic? Because when you're doing that, you're automatically, you've crossed 560. Anybody who's mastered the aiming process and starts the trigger pull the moment the sights come into the aiming area is a 560 plus shooter. Minimum. Think about it. Vikrant has just added something very interesting. Yes, sir, you are correct. Somewhere in my mind, I am not confident while taking the shot. I know the proper process to execute a perfect shot. That's good. But end up taking time holding the breath and making a bad shot. So my mind has created the bad habit of not following the right process. So, sir, how to break the bad habit? Vikrant has told you exactly what most of you are facing and what I have already discussed with you. The key importance to make the aiming process automatic, very, very important, is to conserve that air in your lungs when the trigger is being squeezed off. You just have just that much amount of time in your lungs to get a good shot going, 6 to 7 seconds of some shooters, 5 to 10 seconds. Everyone has his own capacity, but within that 5 to 10 seconds, you should concentrate on a smooth, continuous trigger operation before, during, and after the shot is fired. Now, if you are wasting time on correcting the aiming process, it's going to cut this time. And so your aiming process is not going to be perfect. A world-class shooter has perfected it. So the moment the sights come into the aiming area, is starting on the second pull. Is fully 100% concentrated on the trigger operation before, during, and after the shot is fired, the follow-through. And he's got ample amount of air in his lungs. Vikrant Singh is back. Sir, till the time I master the automatic sight alignment, what will be your suggestion for now on how to take a good shot? That's what we are going to discuss now. Would anybody be bold enough to add a few more points, or would anybody like to come? Please don't feel shy. Kishore Mehta says, can I practice the automatic shot even with incorrect sight alignment? Why? Kishore, how many years have you been shooting, or how many months have you been shooting? Can you please tell me? Kishore, can you please tell me how many months you've been shooting? 2 years. Okay, let me tell you one thing. If you practice my methods, within 6 months, you should be able to master the aiming process. If you master each and every step in my training program, you will master the aiming process. You're asking this for your kids, fine. All right, now let us discuss very briefly on what the methods are to make your aiming process automatic. Okay. The first thing is you need to understand how your mind works, and especially how the unconscious mind works. See, there's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the one which creates all these habits. Please watch this video and we will discuss it. That is the first step to understanding how the mind works and how we are going to use the different parts of the mind to get your aiming process automatic. Okay, watch. These are the parts of the human mind. The first is the conscious mind. The second is the unconscious mind. It could be the subconscious mind also. And the third is the subconscious mind. Now, before we move ahead, let me discuss the conscious mind. I'm sorry. The mind is of three parts, comprises of three parts: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. Now, what does the conscious mind do? I'll just switch off and we'll come back again. The conscious mind is the thinking mind. Okay. The moment we get up in the morning, we start thinking. Okay. But when we go to the bathroom, you are not thinking of taking out the toothpaste and squeezing it on the brush. It is done automatically, right? That is your subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. Now you're thinking, you're putting the toothpaste, you're brushing your teeth. All this is happening automatically. You also comb your hair automatically. You choose your clothes consciously, but you wear them automatically. That is the part of the subconscious and the unconscious mind. Now, the conscious mind is used to learn any skill. For example, if you remember, when you started riding a bike, a bicycle, you first used your conscious mind. You held the handlebars, you sat on the seat, okay, with one foot resting on the floor or both feet on the floor, balancing yourself. Then very gradually, you placed one foot on the pedal, remember, and then you pushed on the pedal, the bike moved, it wobbled, someone was there to hold your bike, and gradually, with days of practice, you managed to pedal along, gradually maintaining your balance. Okay. After some time, you mastered your skills in such a way that you could now cycle anywhere. You could take a turn, left turn, right turn. Initially, it was very difficult, if you remember. Very difficult to take the left turn, very difficult to take the right turn, very difficult to stop, find the brakes, coordinate. Yeah. But now, after many years, after so many years passed, you don't even think when you want to ride a cycle. Now, probably you don't ride a cycle, you drive a car or you ride a bike. It's the same thing. The skills are the same, but they are now from the conscious mind by drilling repetition, repetition, repetition of the same thing again and again, putting your foot on the pedal, holding your handlebar, pushing on the left, right, maintaining your balance, keeping your eyesight on the road. You learn through repetition, which is called as drilling. The conscious mind transferred the skill which it has learned first to the subconscious mind, and then from the subconscious mind to the unconscious mind. So now your unconscious mind knows exactly how to ride a cycle or a car for that matter, and you don't even think about it. You don't think consciously when you're riding a cycle or driving a car, do you? It's all in the unconscious mind. And therefore, let's see this video again. Here, this is again, I'm playing this video. As I said, the parts of the human mind are the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. It doesn't make any difference which is to the right or to the left. It's just three parts. The next part is very important. The unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. The unconscious mind, which has all the skills, does not understand what is real. When you see something, okay, you know it is real. But if you close your eyes and if you imagine something, the unconscious mind cannot make out the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So in that video, you saw the picture. Here you are watching, the mind is seeing that there is a flower. It's color blue, yellow in the center. It's a flower, right? But you can imagine the same flower if you close your eyes. You can. The unconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and what is imagined. Now, why am I discussing this? Why it is important? See, all this is explained in great detail in module number 5. But suffice it to say that your unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. Now, why is this important? And how does it relate to mastering the automatic aiming process? So the first technique that is taught in my modules is something called as the TAV card or the Q card, CUE card. What is the Q card and what is Tratak Anulom Vilom exercises? The Q card is this. All my students know what a Q card is. So how does this, how do you use it to make your aiming process automatic? Okay. The first exercise is the Tratak Anulom Vilom exercises, and this is how it works. Very briefly, please watch this video. Now, for those of you who don't know what this video is all about, most of my shooters who are here, they do know. Now, the one question that I want to ask Vikrant is, Vikrant, how many TAV exercises do you do per day? While he's giving this answer in his chat, I will discuss how we use this Q card and the TAV exercise. The TAV exercise is T stands for Tratak, which is a yogic technique, and AV stands for Anulom Vilom. So please show it again. Okay, Kishore, but you have bought the modules. Everything is explained. Which module are you on? Which module have you bought till now? Yeah, I'll show you the video, but can you tell me which module you are on? Are you on advanced? Yeah, module number 3, 4. Now, I have used this cue card. That is only, you are on the 3rd, that is training methodology. All this is given in the advanced training methodology, module number 4. So don't waste your time. I keep telling all of you all to purchase all the modules so that you can come up to speed. Don't waste your time. Otherwise, you'll keep asking me these questions. Now, I will give you my personal example. Now, this cue card okay, shows the sites. Yeah, and you can make it. You can make it in at home. It's a 10-meter rifle card. The sights are just, I printed it out and I pasted it very correctly. This is called the cue card, and I've placed it in many places in my room. It's one is sticking in the mirror when I get up in the morning and brush my teeth. The second one is in my dressing table when I go and get up and comb my hair. What happens is every time my glance falls, I don't have to go and stare at it. I don't have to do that. I just look at it. If it is there on the dressing table or it's there in the bathroom, maybe every time I've crossed the dressing table, or I have placed this cue card in a number of places in my room or in my house. So daily, I just keep watching it about 10 times. So I don't have to think, oh, this is where the sight should be, and this is the aiming area, and it should be exactly so many. It's not required. It's not required. Because continuously, whenever I'm looking at it, what the mind, my consciously I'm registering that this is the sights and this is where the aiming area is and this is how the target looks. This is my sight picture, the cue card. Why is it called the cue card? Cue, C-U-E, is a cue to the conscious mind, is a cue to the unconscious mind that this is how your sight should look. It should be aligned, it should be in good focus, and the arc of movement is reduced, obviously, because it's printed. So where is the arc of movement? Nothing. It is in good focus because it's nicely printed and the sights are aligned. All these three things are there. Every time I keep looking at it day in and day out, the message that goes into my unconscious mind, mind it. I've just shown you a video which shows that the unconscious mind cannot make out the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Now, this is imagined, though it is a real thing, but it is actually not the sights of the pistol. When you pick up the sights of the pistol and bring it into the aiming area, it looks like this. But what the unconscious mind message it is getting is that this is how the sights should be when they come into the aiming area. And that's all you're giving. Now, this is just not enough. You can do this. You can stick this all over your house. You can stick it everywhere. Maybe you can put a wallpaper of all this, but it's not going to work. You need to have additional exercises, which is called as the Tratak Anulom Vilom exercises, which are there on my modules. Here, I'm just explaining to you how the system works. So with Tratak Anulom Vilom exercises, these are pranayam, pranic exercises. When you are doing the exercise in conjunction with this, your aiming process becomes automatic, guaranteed. Look, I'm 62 years old. When I pick up the pistol, obviously my condition of the hand is not going to be what I was 30 years ago. So my hands keep shaking, but I'm not bothered. I just start my second pull because it becomes okay. Even after so many years, because my aiming process is mastered. It knows, my unconscious mind knows, because I have done these exercises in the correct manner. Mind it, there is a method to correctly do these exercises. Just by putting them on all over your house is, yeah, it will have some effect, but it will not give you the effect that it wants, that is required. You need to add breathing techniques to it, certain exercises, and this will make your unconscious mind realize that this is what the sight should be. This is one method. Okay, somebody said, Kishore Mehta, sir, how do I remove emotions and the, just a minute. This is one method. The Tratak Anulom Vilom cue card, it is there in model number 4, advanced training methodology. Okay. The second method is by going over and over again on the route. Now, this is what the route is. First of all, there are a lot of concepts that we have here, which are very advanced, which I am using for many years. Now, what is the route? The route is the sites, the path the sites takes from the firing platform to the point above the target, and when it comes to the aiming area. Please see what I mean by a route. Then we'll talk about it again. This is the route. Your sight starts from point A, which is the shooting platform. It goes to point B above the target, and then it comes into the aiming area. I'll play that video once again to explain to you exactly what the meaning of the route is. Your sights start from the firing platform, which is point A. Then you take it above the target point B, and then it gradually comes into point C, which is the aiming area. Now, point A, the shooting platform, is common to every shooter. Okay. Point B may vary from shooter to shooter. Some people prefer the point B right, very high above the target. Some people prefer it very close to the target. Whichever way, it's not important. Importance is that A to B to C, and then from B, the sights come into the aiming area. So aiming area is common, and point A, the shooting platform, is common. B may vary. Okay. Once again, I'll show it to you once more. The route is the path your sights takes from point A, which is the shooting platform. This is the firing platform. And then it goes above the target to point B, which is anywhere above the target. You can take it above the target anywhere. Okay. And then bring it to C. C is the aiming area. Now, it is common for everybody, but there might be very slight difference. Some may hold it in the third ring, some hold the sights close to the black, or some go even lower, but generally it is the aiming area, right? So the route is the path the sights takes from the firing platform, which is point A, to point B, which is somewhere above the target. And from point B, you gradually bring the sights into point C, which is the aiming area. This is the route. The route may be slightly different from shooter to shooter. It's very important. Please watch the video again, and you can think of, imagine that you picked up your pistol and the sights are going, because that's what you're doing. You're watching your sights, okay, and the path it takes. So the B may be different. Point B may be different. But just watch. Let us see that this is somebody else's path or somebody else's route. Just watch it, and then try and bring similarity. You can say, oh, I don't take my sights that. Oh, I don't take it so slowly. I take it very fast. Oh, I bring it very slowly, or I bring it very fast. So these things you can compare the route which is shown in the video and the route that you follow while shooting. Please watch. Watch carefully. In the previous few minutes ago, I discussed the Tratak Anulom Vilom exercise, right? Now I'm going to discuss a different technique for which I had to explain to you what the route is. Okay. So the reason I explained to you what the route is, because I'm going to discuss the second technique of how to make your aiming process automatic. Now, in one video, I had shown that the unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Okay, so there is a new technology in the market. Have you heard of virtual reality? They have this camera on their faces, and they are transported in a different world where everything looks real, and they feel and they respond to that environment through that camera. It's like a 3D picture. Now there is something called as that is called VR, the one with the mask, virtual reality. What I am talking about is AR, augmented reality. And this is the example of augmented reality. Please watch. Keep in mind the route that I have shown you. And now watch this video very, very carefully. Okay? One, two, any questions? I'm going to explain to you what that is. Watch the video once again. Okay? And you try to figure out what this is all about. You can ask me questions, or you can attempt some questions or attempt some answers. Watch it again very carefully. One, two, what? What is AR? Augmented reality. I've just given an example. Come on, tell me. Come on, someone, one of you, come on that live studio. Let's discuss this. Even if it is a mistake, doesn't matter. This is the first time you are understanding this new technology. I have tried it on two of my shooters. Unfortunately, they're not present. I cannot, one is from Iraq and one is from Finland. And believe me, the kind of response that I'm getting from these guys, they say that this is magic. This is magic. I'll tell you how it works. We'll discuss it. But I would like someone to at least use the chat box or click on the request to speak button. Try and answer what is happening over here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Use the chat box. Do you want to see, sir, I didn't understand. Fine, it's okay. In augmented reality, each and every shooter who's my student, we work on this template. This is called a template. The video which you saw, sides going up and down, the shot being fired, shooting at 10.9. For each and every shooter, the time he takes from A to B, then how long he waits at B, then from B to C, what is the way his sights come, how long it stays in the aiming area, how the shot is fired, everything is worked out. both the shooter and me, we sit down, we discuss all these things, we plan it out, and then this template is made and it goes back to the shooter, he fine tunes it. And then we make this template for many shots. Yeah, imagining a good shot. But actually, augmented reality means you're actually watching the sights which move exactly as the way it moves in your shot. Somebody wants to join me. I wonder who this is. Aryan Yadav. Fine, Aryan, welcome. I've accepted your request to speak. The perfect shot cycle imprint. Yes. But there are techniques of working along with it. First is to get that template correct, getting your route correct, getting it perfect with little changes, slight changes. It has to be fine-tuned. Once it is fine-tuned, the number of shots is repeated, and then you watch it. You keep watching it. And gradually, it manifests into reality. Don't say it is just imagining of shooting a perfect shot. It's not just imagining. I just told you that your unconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and what is imagined. So when you see the virtual augmented reality video, the way it is made technically, don't try all these stunts on your own. You'll finish your shooting. It is very dangerous also. Dangerous in the sense if you make certain mistake, it will backfire very hugely. You'll end up shooting 8s or 7s and you just don't know how to stop it. So be very careful. An expert needs to work with you. I am that expert and I'll work with you. But it is to be done very, very carefully. Don't try stunts on your own. I don't take responsibility if you try that on your own. Hello, Aryan. Welcome. Yes, Aryan. Aryan, you're in the studio. If you can hear me, Aryan, please reduce your background sound. Okay, Aryan is there. Paul says, does this help even though in my reality the hold is not like that? Yes, that is the beauty of this whole thing. That is the beauty of this whole thing. What happened? That is the beauty of this thing. The template is designed very, very carefully. It has its advantages and it's got huge disadvantages. If you do everything wrong, you're finished. Your shooting goes for a 6. I have tried this on myself. I've tried it for many years. Augmented reality is something, even before AR came in, I was already working on it. Otherwise, how do you think I would have this template? We had a program called as the mental shot program, which some of my shooters, I think Jack was in this program and he's here. And Jack, if you would like to, please share your experience if you wish to, if you're here. Jack, are you there? So now to tell you briefly, this kind of video is made Siddharth, I'm talking about AR and you're telling me, is it good to do up and down, left and right exercise with dumbbells? Please hold your horse. This is not the subject. We're talking on a very important subject. Now, you can discuss this with me later. Now, this is the way there are 2 ways. One is the Tratak Anulom Vilom way. Okay. And the second is a template is designed, videos are designed, and you keep watching these videos, which is exactly a replica of what you do when your sights come into the aiming area from A to B to C. All right, don't try and do the stunt yourself, but if you're interested, please do get in touch with me. I will help you to get this template done. It will be designed for you specifically, and you can use it to make not only your aiming process automatic, but also your trigger operation will become automatic. Now you'll ask me, will I shoot like that? Yes, you can if you master the trigger operation. Because that trigger operation is something different. But your aiming process will be mastered. Your aiming process will be mastered, I guarantee you that, if you use the TAV exercise and if you use the template, the AR augmented reality template. Now this thing is not there, these techniques are not there anywhere. You'll find it with me. So if you want, get in touch with me. You have my, I'll just give you my WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number. That's my WhatsApp number, and you have my email ID also. This is my personal email ID. Get in touch with me, because preparing this template, discussing this TAV, it is there in module number 3, module number 4. You can subscribe to the model and study everything. For the augmented reality AR video template, get in touch with me. And this thing, I guarantee you that your aiming process will be mastered, and to a great extent, your trigger operation will also be mastered. So Vikrant is saying, how do I get that template? Vikrant, you're already my student. You have to just get in touch with me, and we'll design your template as soon as possible, and you'll see amazing results. Amazing results. Provided you understand how the mind works. See, for all these things, you need to have a little bit of preparation. This is not some kind of mumbo jumbo. I'm not a witch doctor or a shaman who is, trying to give you some medicines, and it's not hallucination. These are scientific proven techniques. For that, you must first understand the basics of how the mind works, which I have tried to give you very, very briefly. But in detail, it is in module number 5, mental skills. You must understand what the different parts of the mind are and how it works. You have to understand. Then secondly, how these techniques work, because the unconscious mind cannot make out the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And not only the aiming process, you can also overcome match pressure, which is what is explained in model number 5. Now, if you want to master the aiming process, if you want to break your habit pattern, you need to take some effort. You need to take the effort of first getting the knowledge, understanding it, believing in the process, practicing it diligently for at least 6 months before you see the results. And if you think that you don't want to do that, or if there is a switch somewhere where you just press it on and your aiming process is automatic, well, go and find that switch. You're most welcome. These are proven techniques. This is how your aiming process is mastered. I have personally mastered my aiming process a long time ago. And is Jack there? I have no idea, but if Jack is there, he will tell you he has been witness and tried out this program. Now, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box quickly. please use your chat box, or you can email me or WhatsApp me. Yes, this video is going to be uploaded. It will be uploaded. You can watch the replay if you're registered. It will also be on my YouTube channel in a day or two. Oh, no. Jack, I am here unable to enter the room to speak. What a pity. You've missed out something. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I wish Jack was here. He would have explained to you and given you first-hand experience of how this template works. It's like magic. It may sound like magic, but if you understand it correctly, the way I've explained it, and if you contact me, I'll give you all the information, scientifically based, you will get the results. Jack says TAV is wonderful. Well, there he is. Kishore Mehta, does this augmented reality work only after you have mastered all 5 modules? See, try and understand, Kishore, that the 5th module is purely on mental skills, which purely discusses how the mind works. I'm telling you again and again that the first thing that this augmented reality AR template has to work is for you to understand the basics of how the mind works. It is important that you understand how the mind works. Once you understand how the mind works, you will also understand how AR works, that is augmented reality template works. And once you understand, it will work for you faster. It's just like if you're going to buy a new laptop, everyone has bought, okay, forget the laptop. Everyone has got a mobile phone, right? Now, when you go into the showroom, you first try and find out how many memories it has got, what is the camera pixel like, what will happen if it get lost, and there's so many questions related to your mobile. So you take a decision only when you know that the mobile has got certain features, right? You take the effort to study it. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go into module number 5, subscribe to it, and understand how the mind works. And then when you come to me, obviously, when you finish module number 5, you can come to me, and then I will discuss. It takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen like this. It needs several sessions in which back and forth, emails go. I will be sending a questionnaire. I will require timings. Then a draft is made, a draft template is made. My team works on it. It sends it to you. You try it out. You check it on the shooting range. Is it working? Is it working? When you're 100% confident, yes, this is me. This is me. Then the final template is made. Okay, and then you try it out. The template has got a lot of parameters and they have to be followed meticulously. If even one parameter goes haywire, if it is not designed correctly, you will have disastrous results. So sometimes I don't know, while taking the shot, my wrist shakes and the direction of the shot gets distracted. Is it because of holding the breath? No. This is again got to do with your aiming process. It's not automatic. You don't have the confidence. If you have done all the exercises in module number 3, training methodology, all the standing line, sleeping line, standing 8, sleeping 8 exercises, your wrist has got no business to do that. It means, it shows that you have not put in proper effort. You're doing shortcut. You want to do things fast. And if you try and do things fast, it's just like if there is a patient who's broken a leg, he's put in a cast for a period of time, usually 1 month. Okay. Now, why 1 month? Because the bones have to knit and heal. It's the same way with your wrist lock. The problem which you are having is the wrist lock. If you're not exercising every day, you're standing 8, sleeping 8, well, that's the problem you're going to face. And incidentally, I don't see your videos, I don't see you posting your diaries either. You never post your diaries. So I don't know what exercises you're doing. So how do I guide you? Yeah. All right. My contact number, everything will be given once again. I've already given it to you. You can get in touch with me and we can take this a little further, because aiming process, you master it, you're a 560 plus shooter straight away. Then you need to work on your automatic trigger operation. I'll be posting this video on YouTube, maybe on Facebook too. It will be on my website. Those of you who don't know my website, I'll just that's my website. There's also a free basic course, 27 videos and text lessons, which will make you understand what follow through is. Last 1 minute to post your questions. Yes, Siddharth, you had a question. Sir, is it good to do up and down, left and right exercise with dumbbells? No. Please don't do that. I don't know what weights you are using. It's not recommended at all. Not recommended at all. Thank you, everybody. Till we meet after 2 weeks in a 2 kilos. Even if it is 2 kilos, there's no need for you to do that. Please, Siddharth, you're my student. Please check the exercises which are given in model number 4. Okay. Thank you, Paul. And believe me, by next please do get in touch with me on my WhatsApp, on my email. I will take your queries and answer all your questions. Thank you very much. Have a good night.